Well, cheers! I got a kind of, yeah, I got this precarious situation going on here. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of my two props here. Well, darn it, as I drop something else here. So I tried to do something different. Here, let me move this stuff around. This just ain't working, is it? You can't see me, man. We can't see you, Tom. Here we go. Let me move that out. Just a little bit, anyways. Let me see if I can shift my camera just a tad there. Hey, so I decided to do something different. I've got this Mother's Sunshine Chugsuckle. I picked it up. Believe it or not. It had been selling for about $10.5 a 4-pack. It's a 6.5%. It's a New England style IPA-ish. But I found it in a store for $5.99. So it's not a type of beer that I would typically revisit, but $5.99 a 4-pack, I figured, what the hell, let's give her a shot. But I had some of this left, some Rocktown, Arkansas Light, and it's 110 proof legal moonshine. So I decided to do a beer cocktail. Beer cocktails have become trendy, but again, like everything else, I mean, it seems like all nouveau bartenders want to make everything 100 ingredients, right? And it can't taste like liquor or beer anymore. It's got to be sweet. It's got to have some crazy exotic ingredients in it. You know, we can't just use normal shit anymore. So, in the spirit of a beer cocktail, and then keeping in true to myself, this cocktail has one ingredient, this whiskey, or two ingredients, the spirit is whiskey. But the only thing added to the beer to make it a beer cocktail is this particular whiskey. So the beer is called Sunshine Chugsuckle. So we will call this cocktail a Moonshine Chugsuckle. So there you go. I've got about approximately 8 ounces of this beer to a jigger of this Rocktown. So it's going to be a pretty potent cocktail, but I'll tell you what I get here. I do feel the notes of the beer, though. The whiskey isn't overpowering it. I do feel like there was the whiskey in here, though. But I certainly feel all the citrus that this beer imparts. I haven't had this cocktail before. I don't know what this is going to taste like. By golly, that'll put hair on your testicles. I'll take them off. Yeah, you know. So the inspiration really was, well, I want to try a beer cocktail. I want to try something different. Was sort of, because these type of IPAs taste like juice mostly. You know, I was thinking a screwdriver or a Greyhound kind of cocktail. But I didn't want to use vodka. I wanted to use this moonshine that I had on hand. Now, because it's 110 proof, some of you may want to only put, a half a shot in it. But, since I have a pair, I went with the full shot. Yeah, it's actually not bad. Now, is it when I drink 7 or 8 of them? No, hell no. I got a 6.5% beer and I dropped 110 proof whiskey in it now. But, hell, it'd be a nice brunch cocktail, I'll tell you that right now. It worked fine with some Belgian waffles and some fruit. Why the hell not? Nice. There you go with some quiche. Why not? So I apologize to both Rocktown and Mothers for getting a little creative with the products. I hope neither minds. But I am an acquiring mind. Once something enters, once I have a thought, man, I have to execute it. I must. It becomes a moral imperative at that point. I've got to go through with it. So I do taste whiskey, actually. I mean, it isn't hid completely. But then again, I don't want to hide it completely. I don't understand why folks that want to drink cocktails of any kind want to hide the liquor. I mean, if all you want to drink is fruit fucking punch, drink fruit punch. I just don't get it, man. Of course, these are the people that drink only to get drunk. I drink for enjoyment, man. Yeah, oddly enough, I was wondering how much the whiskey would kill the aromas, right? How much would kill that citrus on the nose. And I can feel the whiskey in there with it. I'll be honest with you. I can still feel those fruit, those citrus, specifically tropical fruit aromas that were in the beer before. So there you go. Will this be a cocktail? Will I create a, will I create a trend? Well, probably not. But my point is, try it. I mean, you know, don't let somebody tell you what you can or can't do. If you got an idea, by golly, execute it. Should I get off the pot? Yeah, you know what? I mean, you know, the beer cocktail police aren't going to knock on your door, so you can't do that. The folks at Mothers may frown on me doing this to their beer, but I don't think they're going to stop me from buying it. Rocktown as well. No, I mean, it's clever, and I think a lot of there are a lot of craft breweries popping up everywhere, but there are a lot of micro distilleries popping up. It is great. You know, I would like to see, not necessarily beer cocktails, but I would like to see, you know, local distilleries pairing with local breweries. Like, you know, we have Missouri Spirits, and I don't know if it's been talked about, but I would love to see one of our local breweries, you know, get together with Missouri Spirits to use one of their barrels to age. Like, for instance, you know, Jameson has their cask mates where they have their whiskey, and then, you know, loan that barrel to a brewery who puts beer in that whiskey, and then or puts beer in that barrel rather, and then they get the barrel back. So I mean, you know, for some, you know, age a beer not necessarily like this, but I mean, you take a beer like this, age it in a whiskey barrel, and then bring it back to. I would love to see a small distillery do that. I mean, that's what Jameson is doing. But I mean, when you have a small distillery and you have other breweries around them, yeah, I don't know why some of these couldn't do that. I mean, I would like to see one of these breweries around here, you know, pair with Missouri Spirits. I mean, Mothers is close to them. Lost Signal's even close. So. Springfield Brewing Company is close. I mean, you got three right there. I love to, I'm kind of surprised nobody's done it yet, to be honest. I know they are a young distillery. That could be part of the reason. But I would, yeah, again, I would love to see a partnership between distillery and brewery because, you know, I love that kind of thing. I eat that shit up, man. Anyway. I'm at the grapefruit portion. I'm getting the grapefruit in the beer there. You know, and some folks might want to use a glass where they could pour the full beer in. So use a pint where you can pull the full beer out of it. I just had this Mother's glass, right? It's only Mother's glass I had handy, which is why I use this. And I figured, well, if a cocktail like this was served in a bar, this is probably the size of glass they'd use. I figured probably an 8-ounce pour. Now, although, to be honest, they would probably use, you know, a half to 3/4 of an ounce to make that particular cocktail. But, hell, I don't know. I used a full jigger, man, because the beer whisper, the whiskey whisper don't play, man. My Irish daddy raised no candy ass, I'll tell you that. On my dad's side, my dad, I never met grandparents on my dad's side. They died before I was born, unfortunately. But she was 100% German while he was 100% Irish. Very interesting combo. And I can certainly see both ancestries in me. Although I did a interview segment with Rob from This Drinking Life, and I mentioned that, you know, I don't mind going into bars alone because I like to talk to people. I don't mind going with friends either, don't get me wrong. But when you go with friends, you're kind of obligated to stay in that group, right? That social construct, as it were. But I mean, I like to, especially if I'm in a new town, right? I love going to places by myself because then I'm just there, you know. I love talking to people. I love meandering and seeing where the conversation goes. And Rob had mentioned that's the Irish. You never leave an Irish pub to strangers. So that's probably my nature. I know my dad was like that as well. But yeah, I mean, I know I've talked to people that don't like to go into bars by themselves. I actually don't mind. I don't mind going to festivals by myself, to be honest with you. And sometimes I prefer to go to beer festivals by myself rather than go with a group of friends. Because if I'm with a group of friends, now don't get me wrong, I like going with friends too. I mean, that's been fun too. But especially if I'm doing a lot of Beer Whisper stuff, if I'm taking a lot of pictures and doing interviews and videos, I kind of like going by myself that way because I don't feel guilty if I leave my friends, if I step away for a little bit. Because I like to mingle, I like to meander, I like to talk to people. So there you go. Hey, I want to thank Mothers. This is a damn fine beer, man. It's a very interesting cocktail. I suggest you try. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Get together with Missouri Spirits and their unaged whiskey, their corn whiskey, and hey, put together your own Moonshine Chugsuckle. Moonshine Chugsuckle. See what I did? Because this is a moonshine, and this is Sunshine Chugsuckle. So I called it Moonshine. Anyways, I digress. Man. I'm losing my freaking mind, man. Does anybody care, man? Jeepers Creepers. This is a drink, man. That's my first drink of the day, but I may have to take a little break after this is my first beer. Wow, man. Because as I in the course of this, the 11 and a half minutes I've been talking, I can kind of feel it. Feel it coursing through my veins, man. This shit ain't playing, man. Oh, mercy. So I am Dr. Beer Whisperer. I'm also, who are you? I have a split personality. I'm also Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. BeerVangelist. Whiskey Evangelist. Prolific beer drinker. Prolific whiskey drinker. Purveyor of Wisdom encompasses both of them. And of course, with it goes without saying, man. And all around, a good guy. Boom. Keep it together, man.